Hello, Diane. Nice to have you here. And this is, as we've said, this is just a very brief little overview of a couple of ideas from the upcoming class on internal consulting. The course is, of course, part of a curriculum of constructivist developmental approaches to intercultural work. So maybe we can start out by you saying a word about how you see the connection between internal consulting, as you're approaching it, and that sort of general constructivist developmental approach.
You bet. To me, the whole idea of intercultural organizational effectiveness is both developmental and constructivist, because if you think about it, creating an organizational culture that unites the employees, the customers, and the vendors with a common purpose, and yet values and uses the diversity as a resource, that's a process, and it requires, for most people, a major shift in thinking, which is what you talk about, paradigmatic shift. Which makes it developmental in nature. People have to realize that differences aren't dangerous, they're resources. They need to be able to reframe miscommunication as an opportunity for learning and organizational improvement. So the irony for me on the developmental side comes that we're working with a lot of organizations that are still in ethnocentric stages, even if they're up in minimization. So the challenge of trying to sell the value of intercultural competence is difficult. You need to get commitment to a coherent developmental approach, and we know such an approach is needed, but how do you do it?
I suppose that you also run into a preference for the kind of quick fix transformation idea, that somehow if we only change the culture of our organization, everything will be fine.
Right. And people come in and they want the quick fix, they want the prescription, they want you to sprinkle the magic dust. But, you said why a constructivist approach. Prescriptions don't work. Samsung's path to global success isn't Nokia's, Exxon's isn't Shell's. Telling an organization how it should conduct its business or its purpose, it's foolhardy. Positivist prescriptions only meet with resistance. And relative work either. You can tell an organization, okay, this is the way it's done in France, this is the way it's done in Italy, but that's not enough. It's insufficient when we're trying to manage a global product line or service. So we want those local strategies. We also want worldwide coherence. And it's a constant process of managing those polarities, which is why we need a constructivist approach of consistently redefining and creating the new ways of working together to feed our innovation and our customer and employee satisfaction. It's rare when we get a client who's really committed to the long term. So what's important for me is if we're only getting piecemeal contracts from our internal clients, it's important for us to keep that long-term approach, that coherent, constructivist approach. And that way, in 5 years' time, at least we have built on the skills and we have led the organization to getting to where it wants to be, even if it wasn't a plan organization-wide at the outset.
Well, let me say, Diane, this is one of the reasons why we're so happy to have you here, because you have many years of experience doing exactly this kind of complex balancing act. And I really think that people who are in this business, we have to keep improving, we have to keep changing, and we have to keep modernizing what we do. And I think you're a wonderful resource in helping us to do that. So thank you for being with us.